Good afternoon, students. So today I am doing class for class 12. The topic is the same topic that we were doing in the last online class. The chapter is continuity of a function. So today we'll do questions from previous year's higher secondary question papers. Okay. So let us do from HS 2015. And this question carries 2 marks, right? So question number, so this is from higher secondary examination 2015, 1C number 3. If the function f of x is equal to sin x by kx plus k, a condition is given here when x not equal to 0. So when x not equal to 0, what is the value for f of x? F of x is equal to sin x divided by kx plus k. And when x is equal to 0, what is the value for f of x? It is 2. It is given that this function f of x is continuous at x is equal to 0. You have to find out the value for k. Okay. So what is given here? When x not equal to 0, what is the value for f of x? It is sin x divided by kx plus k. So you know that x not equal to 0 means either x is greater than 0 and x less than 0. So here also no need of getting the separate right hand limit and left hand limit, because for both x greater than 0 and x less than 0 we are using the same function f of x. So if you find out the separate right hand limit and left hand limit, obviously you will get the same value for right hand limit as well as left hand limit. Okay. So यसमा x not equal to 0 भनेको हामी के बुझ्छौं? Either x is greater than 0 or x less than 0. ठीक छ? त x greater than 0 मा पनि x less than 0 मा पनि हामीले function of x चाहिँ हामी यही मात्रै युज गर्छौं, that is sin x upon kx plus k. त यसमा हामीले भिन्दै भिन्दै राइट ह्यान्ड लिमिट र लेफ्ट ह्यान्ड लिमिट निकालिरहनु पर्दैन, त खाली तिमीले के मात्रै निकाल्नु पर्छ? लिमिट x टेन्ड्स टु 0 f of x मात्रै निकाल्नु. त्यसैमा नै राइट ह्यान्ड लिमिट पनि आउँछ अनि लेफ्ट ह्यान्ड लिमिट पनि आउँछ. ठीक छ? सो लेट अस राइट डाउन लिमिट x tends to 0 f of x, right? So which is equal to limit x tends to 0. You x tends to 0 भनेको नि x is approaching towards 0 from the left hand side or from the right hand side. Okay? So यसैमा नै right hand limit पनि left hand limit पनि include भएको. ठीक छ? So let us find out limit x tends to 0. What is f of x? It is sin x divided by kx plus k. Put it within bracket. So wherever there is x, you have to write down the limit. So wherever there is no x, you don't have to write down the limit. So for k, for only k, for the second term, there is no x out here. No need of writing the limit out here because it is free from x. So is equal to the अगाडिको टर्ममा मात्रै हामी के लेख्छौं? Limit x tends to 0 sin x upon kx plus k. k मा चाहिँ लिमिट लेख्नु पर्दैन. ठीक छ? खाली अगाडिको टर्ममा मात्रै x छ, त्यही कारण हामीले अगाडिको टर्ममा मात्रै के लगायौं? लिमिट लगायौं. ठीक छ? अब यहाँ 1 upon k is constant. 1 upon k is constant. It is taken outside now. So which is equal to 1 by k into limit x tends to 0. This is your sin x upon x. This is the standard limit, you know that. Then plus k. Then plus k. So which is equal to 1 upon k into what is the value of this limit? This is 1 plus k, which is equal to 1 upon k plus k. So we have got both right hand limit as well as limit, as well both right hand limit and left hand limit. We have got it. So in this case we have got both right hand limit as well as left hand limit. The यसैमा नै right hand limit पनि आयो, left hand limit पनि आयो, which is equal to 1 upon k plus k. Now you have to get the value for f of x when x exactly equal to 0, but it is given in the question itself. So at x is equal to 0, what is the value for f of x? When x exactly equal to 0, what is the value for f of x? That is 2. ठीक छ? x is equal to 0 हुँदाखेरि f of x value कति छ? 2 छ. f of x is equal to, therefore f of 0 is equal to 2. त यहाँ हामीले x is equal to 0 हाल्न सक्छौं. That is f of 0 is equal to 2. Now what will you do in the next step? In the question it is given that the function f of x is continuous at x is equal to 0. So from the definition, what can you write? Limit x tends to 0, f of x is equal to f of 0, right? Since f of x is continuous at x is equal to 0. So what can you write? Limit x tends to 0, f of x is equal to f of 0, isn't it? Actually, what is the definition of continuity of the function at a given point? Right hand limit is equal to left hand limit is equal to the value of the function at the given point. Okay? So both right hand limit and left hand limit are included out here. So the function f of x is continuous at x is equal to 0 is given in the question. So what can you write? Both right hand limit and left hand limit is out here. So it is limit x tends to 0, f of x is equal to f of 0. Okay. So now next, or put the value for limit x tends to 0, f of x. What is it? It is 1 upon k plus k. This is both right hand limit as well as left hand limit. That is the value for the limit x tends to 0, f of x. So which is equal to, what is f of 0? What is f of 0? It is 2, right? So let us solve it to get the value of k, because in the question you have to get the value for k, right? So what's the LCM out here? It is k. So in the numerator 1 plus k square, which is equal to 2. Now you can cross multiply it. 1 plus k square is equal to 2k, or you may write k square first. K square minus 2k plus 1, which is equal to 0. So this is an equation, quadratic equation. So this is your k minus 1 whole square is equal to 0, right? So now let us get the value for k. So if k minus 1 whole square is 0, what is the value for only k minus 1? K minus 1 is square root of 0 is 0. Or what is the value for k? K is equal to 1. So this is the final answer. So I think you have understood it. So you can copy it. So this is from HS 2015. So we'll do next question. So now we'll do the next question, that is from HS 2016. So this question also carries 2 marks. This question is also from the continuity of a function. So the question is 1C number 1. This question carries 2 marks. So if f of x is equal to within mod sin x divided by x. This is the problem on modulus of a function, right? Modulus when x not equal to 0. And f of x is equal to 1 when x exactly equal to 0. So you know that x not equal to 0 means either x is greater than 0 or x is less than 0 in this case. Okay. So you have to examine the continuity of the function at x is equal to 0. Whether the function is continuous or discontinuous at x is equal to 0. You have to check it. But you have to simplify this modulus function, right? So therefore f of x is equal to within mod sin x divided by x when. So what is meant by x not equal to 0? You know that it is either x greater than 0 and x less than 0. Okay. Now let us simplify the value of f of x when x greater than 0. So if x is greater than 0, then f of x is equal to, if x is greater than 0, then sin x is always positive. Sign of positive number is positive sin x. Sign of positive number is, what is sign of positive number x? That is positive. Okay. Since this is already positive, just write down sin x. So it is sin x divided by x. If x is greater than 0, then what is the value for f of x? It is sin x divided by x. Is that clear? Next, if x is less than 0, then f of x. What is the value for f of x in this case? X is less than 0 means sign of negative number. What is sign of minus x? Minus sin x, isn't it? So if x is less than 0, then sign of minus x is negative sin x. You will get minus sin x. So if you write only sin x out here, if x is less than 0, if x is less than 0, if you write only sin x is negative. If x is less than 0, sin x is negative, but you should make it positive. Within modulo sign means its value should be always positive. So to make it positive, what you will write? Minus sin x divided by x. Okay, so if x is less than 0, then f of x is equal to minus sin x divided by x. Is that understood now? So next, what is the value for f of x when x exactly equal to 0? That is 1. So if x is equal to 0, then f of x is equal to 1. Is that clear now? So let us write down the right hand limit, left hand limit and the value of the function when x exactly equal to 0. Okay, so write down for right hand limit, what do we write? Limit x tends to 0 plus f of x is equal to limit x tends to 0 plus. What is the meaning of x tends to 0 plus? X is greater than 0, you know that, isn't it? So when x is greater than 0, what is the value for f of x? It is sin x divided by x, which is equal to 1. This is the standard form. X tends to 0 plus means x tending to 0. It only indicates that x is approaching towards 0 from the right hand side. Okay, that is your 1. So for left hand limit, limit x tends to 0 minus f of x, which is equal to limit x tends to 0 minus, you know that x is approaching towards 0 from the left hand side, and on the left of x is equal to 0, all the values of x are less than 0. So what is the value for f of x when x less than 0? It is minus sin x upon x. Is that clear? So which is equal to, minus sign is taken outside, limit x tends to 0 minus, this is your sin x by x, which is equal to x tends to 0 minus, this means that x is approaching towards 0 from the left hand side. So which is equal to, this is your minus 1. So is that clear now? That is limit x tends to 0 minus sin x by x is always 1. So since there is minus sign in front of limit, so you have to write down minus 1. Okay, so no need of getting the value for x, no need of getting the value for f of x when x exactly equal to 0, because in this case right hand limit not equal to left hand limit, so therefore the function f of x is discontinuous at x is equal to 0. Or you may get it, or you may get the value for f of x when x exactly equal to 0. So let us find it. Okay, so at x is equal to 0, at x is equal to 0, so what is the value for f of x? F of x is equal to 1, right? So that is f of 0 is equal to 1. But since right hand limit not equal to left hand limit, the given function f of x is discontinuous at x is equal to 0, right? So write down, since limit x tends to 0 plus, f of x not equal to limit x tends to 0 minus f of x. Okay, since right hand limit not equal to left hand limit, therefore the function f of x is discontinuous at x is equal to 0. Therefore the function f of x is discontinuous at x is equal to 0. So I think you have understood it, so you can copy it. We'll do the next question now. Now let's do the question from HS 2018. This question also carries 2 marks. The question number 1C number 1 is, if the function f of x is equal to 1 minus cos ax divided by x square when x not equal to 0, So what is the meaning of this function? When x not equal to 0, that means either x is greater than 0 or x less than 0. For both x greater than 0 and x less than 0, we are using the same function of x, that is 1 minus cos ax divided by x square. But when x exactly equal to 0, what is the value for f of x? That is 1. And it is given that this function f of x be continuous at x is equal to 0. This function f of x is continuous at x is equal to 0. Then you have to get the value or values of a. You may get one value of a. You may get more than one value of a in this case. That's why it is written value or values of a. Okay. So let us do this problem now. So in this case also, when x greater than 0 and x less than 0, we are using the same function of x, that is 1 minus cos ax divided by x square. So in this case also, no need of getting the separate right hand limit as well as left hand limit. Just find out limit x tends to 0. Okay. So therefore, limit x tends to 0 f of x, which is equal to limit x tends to 0. What is the value for f of x in this case? It is when x tends to 0 but x not exactly equal to 0. So you can write down this function. So 1 minus cos ax divided by, this is your x square. So what is the formula in this case? 1 minus cos x, you know that. 1 minus cos x is equal to 2 sin square x by 2, right? 1 minus cos x is what? 2 sin square x by 2. So let us use the formula here. Instead of x, there is x is equal to limit x tends to 0. This is your 2 sin square x by 2. That is x by 2 whole divided by x square. Since sin is there, you have to convert into a standard form. You know that, isn't it? So which is equal to, what is 2 out here? 2 is constant. It should be taken outside. 2 into limit x tends to 0, right? Now sin square I mean 2 पल्ट लेख्न सक्छौ. You can write down sin 2 times, isn't it? Because this is sin square. So this is sin ax by 2 into sin ax by 2 divided by, in the denominator also, this x square can be written as x into x. That is your x into x. Okay. So which is equal to 2 into limit x tends to 0. Now you can separate it. You can write it in the form of sin x by x form. So this is sin ax by 2 divided by x into, next, sin ax by 2 divided by x. Okay, but in this case you can convert it into the form of sin x by x form, but instead of x, what is there? Ax. Okay, you know this limit x tends to 0 sin x by x is equal to 1. हामीलाई त यो याद छ नि त, हैन? Limit x tends to 0 sin x whole divided by x is equal to 1. हामीलाई यो स्ट्यान्डर्ड लिमिट हामीलाई याद छ, तर यहाँ x को जग्गामा के छ? ax by 2. यसलाई पनि हामी x by 2 नै बनाउनु पर्छ. That is, this x should be multiplied by a by 2. So write a by 2. Here also, instead of x, there is x by 2. Again, this x should be multiplied by a by 2. The denominator मा हामीले कतिले मल्टिप्लाई गर्यो भन्दाखेरि a by 2 into a by 2. That is a square by 4 ले मल्टिप्लाई गर्यो. But that should be cancelled. हामी आफै मल्टिप्लाई गर्दैछौं to convert it into standard form. यसलाई स्ट्यान्डर्ड फर्ममा लानुलाई चाहिँ हामी आफै a by 2 ले यो x लाई मल्टिप्लाई गर्दैछौं. त a by 2 into a by 2 कति भयो? a square by 4. That is in the denominator. तर त्यसलाई हामीले के गर्नुपर्छ? क्यान्सल गर्नु पर्यो. त इन्टु के लेख्छ यहाँ? a square divided by 4. Is that clear to all of you? त यो a by 2 into a by 2 कति भयो? a square by 4. यसलाई नै क्यान्सल गर्नु, इन्टु के लेख्छौ? a square upon 4. So now what will you do in the next step? This a square by 4 is constant. Take it outside limit. So is equal to 2 into a square by 4, right? So into wherever there is x or wherever there is standard form, you have to write down the limit. For both this expression, you have to write down the limit. Okay. So limit x tends to 0 sin ax by 2 divided by ax by 2 into, again, limit x tends to 0, limit x tends to what? 0. This is limit x tends to 0. This is sine ax by 2 divided by ax by 2, right? So which is equal to, now you can cancel here, 2 1s are 2, 2 2s are 4. That is a square by 2 into, what is the value of that limit? 1. So what is the value of this limit? That is also 1, right? So I think you have understood it, okay? So which is equal to, this is your a square upon 2. So we got the value for the limit x tends to 0. So I think you have understood it. So we got a square divided by 2, okay? Now both right hand limit and left hand limit are included in this limit, okay? And we got the value as a square by 2. Now at x is equal to 0. At x is equal to 0, what is the value for f of x? F of x is equal to 1. So therefore, f of 0, instead of x you put 0, that is f of 0 is equal to 1. Okay. Now since in the question it is given that the function f of x is continuous at x is equal to 0. Since f of x is continuous at x is equal to 0. So what can I write? So limit x tends to 0, f of x is equal to f of 0. So just now we determined the value for limit x tends to 0, f of x, that was a square by 2. And what was the value for f of 0? That is 1. Okay. So since the function f of x is continuous at x is equal to 0, you can write down that limit x tends to 0, f of x is equal to f of 0. Okay. So or what is limit x tends to 0, f of x? It is a square by 2, which is equal to, what is the value for f of 0 out here? So f of 0 is 1. Is that clear to all of you? So we have got this a square by 2 is equal to 1, or cross multiply it, a square by 2, or what are the values of a? A is equal to plus minus root over 2. So we have got the answer, that is a is equal to plus minus root over 2. So what are the values of a? So a is equal to plus minus root over 2. So I think you have understood it. So you can copy it. We'll do the next question now. So now we'll do this question, that is from HS 2019. Question number 1C, number 5. If f of 2 is equal to 4 and f dash of 2 is equal to 4. Since we have done differentiation, we were doing differentiation also. Okay. So f dash of 2 means differentiation of f of x when x exactly equal to 2. That is f dash. You know f dash of x when I go here, differentiation of f of x. So what is meant by f dash of 2? Differentiation of f of x when x exactly equal to 2, right? So f dash of 2 is equal to 4. Then you have to evaluate the limit. Limit x tends to 2, x f of 2 minus twice f of x whole divided by x minus 2. Is that clear? You have to find out the value. Okay. तो इसमें हामीले डिफरेन्शिएसन पनि याद गर्नुपर्छ. हामीले डिफरेन्शिएसन फर्स्ट अर्डर गरिसकेका छौं. We have to do the second order differentiation. So after I finish this continuity and differentiability, then we will start second order differentiation, because we have already completed the first order derivative. Okay. So now let's do this question now. So f dash of 2 is equal to 4. So you know the meaning of differentiation, isn't it? From the definition. So we know that. So let us write. So let us do this solution. We know that, you know the definition of f dash of x, isn't it? What is f dash of x? This is your limit h tends to 0, f of x plus h minus f of x, this whole divided by h, right? This is from the definition of derivative of a function, okay? So this is from the definition of the derivative of the function, that is f dash of x is equal to limit h tends to 0 f of x plus h minus f of x whole divided by h. Okay, now here in the question it is given that f dash of 2, you can put x is equal to 2 out here. So putting x is equal to 2, so what do we get? That is f dash of 2 is equal to limit, this is your h tends to 0 f of 2 plus h minus f of 2, this whole thing divided by h. Okay, so now by question, what is f dash of 2? F dash of 2 is 4. So 4 is equal to limit h tends to 0, that is f of 2 plus h minus f of 2 whole divided by h. So let us mark it as number 1. So wherever you get limit h tends to 0 f of 2 plus h minus f of 2 whole divided by h, you should write 4, because in this question f dash of 2 is equal to 4 is given out here. So whenever you get limit h tends to 0 f of 2 plus h minus f of 2 whole divided by h, you should write 4. Okay, now what is the given limit out here? Now since limit x tends to 2 x f of 2 minus twice f of x whole divided by x minus 2. So let us evaluate this limit, or you can get the value of this limit. So let us do the method of substitution here also. This x minus 2 can be assumed as h. So let us assume let h is equal to x minus 2. Let us get the value for x. What is the value for x? X is equal to, what is here? This is your 2 plus h, right? Now in this case, since method of substitution is done out here, you have to change the limit also. So when x tends to 2, what does h tend to? Suppose x equal to 2 हाले, suppose x equal to 2 हाले, 2 minus 2 के बाद 0. So when x is equal to 2, h is equal to 0. That means when x tends to 2, h tends to 0. So when x tends to 2, h tends to 0. Is that clear? Now the above limit now becomes, therefore limit h tends to 0. What is the value for x? 2 plus h. You can write here 2 plus h into f of 2 minus twice f of, what is x? What is the value for x here? 2 plus h. You have to change the limit. In this case, you have to change the variable. Before substitution, x was the variable. After substitution, h is the new variable. So what is x minus 2? It is h. So let us simplify it now. Okay. So which is equal to limit h tends to 0. You can multiply it. Twice f of 2 plus h f of 2 minus, this is twice f of 2 plus h, this whole divided by h. So I think you have understood it. Okay. Now next, so what will you do in the next step now? So you have to simplify it, which is equal to limit h tends to 0. Let us write down this first, h f of 2, h f of 2, and from this first and third term, 2 is common out there, isn't it? So let us take minus 2 common out here. Minus 2. Why are we taking minus 2 as common? Because you write first f of 2 plus h, because we have got the value for f of 2 plus h minus f of 2. So that's why we are writing minus 2 first out here. So minus 2 within second bracket, you write down the third term first, f twice plus h. Since minus 2 is common out here, minus into plus h, minus here also 2 is common, so only remains here f of 2. So this whole thing divided by h. Is that clear? So you can separate the term here. So limit h tends to 0, separate the term, h f of 2 divided by h, that is your f of 2, minus twice into, you can separate it again, f of 2 plus h minus f of 2, this whole divided by h. Third bracket is closed. Is that clear? Now wherever there is h, you have to write down the limit. For f of 2, you don't have to write down the limit out here. No need of putting limit for f of 2 because it is free from h. You f of 2 चाहिँ h बाट h छैन, यो f of 2 मा चाहिँ h नभएको कारणले गर्दा चाहिँ यो लिमिट लेख्नु पर्दैन यसमा, because f of 2 is free from h. Okay, but you have to write down the limit for only the second term, because this second term contains h. So which is equal to f of 2 minus twice into limit, this is your h tends to 0, f of 2 plus h minus f of 2, this whole divided by h. Is that clear to all of you? So I think you have understood it. What was the value for f of 2? In the question, what was the value for f of 2? So f of 2 is equal to 4 is given. F of 2 is equal to 4. This is your 4 minus 2 into, what is the value for limit h tends to 0, f of 2 plus h minus f of 2 divided by h? It is given as 4. From 1 you can write the value of this limit, as 4, right? So which is equal to 4 minus 2 4s are 8, which is equal to minus 4. So this is your final answer. So I think you have understood it. So this question is very, very important. This question is from HS 2019. Okay. So now we'll do a next question from HS 2020 this year. Okay. So now we'll do the next question, that is from HS 2020. So this year also from the chapter continuity of function, a question had come. Okay, the question is 1C number 3. This question also carries 2 marks. So 1C number 3 is, if f of x is equal to sine 5x whole divided by 2x when x not equal to 0. Also in this case you have to understand the question. In this case also x not equal to 0 is given. That means x greater than 0 and x less than 0. For x greater than 0 and x less than 0, what is the value for f of x? Sine 5x divided by 2x. Here also no need of getting the separate right hand limit and left hand limit. Just find out limit x tends to 0 f of x. Okay. Then also what is the value for f of x when x exactly equal to 0? It is 5k upon 4. And since it is given that f of x is continuous at x is equal to 0, you have to find out the value for k. Is it understood now? So let us do this problem now. So let us find out limit x tends to 0 f of x. Just now I explained you about this limit x tends to 0 f of x, because f of x is equal to sine 5x divided by 2x when x not equal to 0. That means in this case either x is greater than 0 or x less than 0. For both this x greater than 0 and x less than 0, we are using the same function of x, that is sine 5x divided by 2x. So no need of getting the separate right hand limit and left hand limit. In this case you just have to find out limit x tends to 0 f of x. Okay, so that's why I have written here limit x tends to 0 f of x. So is equal to limit x tends to 0. What is f of x in this case? It is sine 5x divided by 2x. Okay, so here you can convert this limit into a standard limit. So here half is constant, half is taken outside. So limit x tends to 0. This is your sine 5x divided by x, right? But you should convert it into the standard limit form, that is limit x tends to 0. You know standard limit. Limit x tends to 0 sine x by x, which is always 1. But instead of x, what is there? 5x. So you should multiply this x by 5. But that 5 should be cancelled. So you should write here into 5. So let us simplify it first, which is equal to half into limit. This is your x tends to 0 sine 5x divided by x is only x is there, multiplied by 5. So it is 5x, right? But you should cancel that 5. Since we have multiplied this x which is in the denominator by 5 ourselves, you have to cancel it. So you should write into 5 now. So what is 5 out there? 5 is a constant quantity. You can take it outside limit. So which is equal to 5 by 2 into limit x tends to 0 This is your sine 5x divided by 5x. Now this is your standard limit whose value is 1. So which is equal to 5 by 2 into 1, which is equal to 5 by 2. So both right hand limit and left hand limit are included in this limit. Okay, so both right hand limit and left hand limit is equal to 5 by 2. Okay, now at x is equal to 0, you have to find out the value for f of x when x exactly equal to 0. So at x is equal to 0, what is the value for f of x in this case? So f of x is equal to 5k upon 4. So put x is equal to 0, what do we get? F of 0 is equal to, the right side ma x ko value नै छैन भने हामी हाल्नु परेन, it is constant always, so it is 5k upon 4. Is that clear to all of you? So next, what will you do here now? Since in the question it is given that f of x is continuous at x is equal to 0. So from the definition, what can you write? Limit x tends to 0, f of x is equal to f of 0. So since f of x is continuous at x is equal to 0, so therefore limit x tends to 0, f of x is equal to f of 0. Or just now we found out these two values. What is the value for limit x tends to 0, f of x? It was 5 by 2. And what is the value for f of 0? It is 5k by 4. It is 5k by 4, right? So can you get the value for k now? So or cross multiply it. 10k is equal to 5 4s are 20, or k is equal to 20 by 10, 0 0 gets cancels, that is k is equal to what? K is equal to 2. That is your final answer. So I think you have understood it. So this is from HS 2020. So this year this question was from continuity of a function. So in the next year also this type of question may come. Okay, so this much is for today. So you revise all the problems that we did today. So in the next class we'll do more problems on this chapter, that is continuity of a function. Okay, so this much is for today.